Hello, what's going on? It is Tyler.
And Matt.
Today, this is our podcast for our website. We are going to be talking mainly about the TED Talk, We Need to Talk About an Injustice by Bryan Stevenson, as well as the Frontline documentary Prison State, which displays about the prison system in our location in Louisville, Kentucky. So yeah, basically in these documentaries, it was talking about how the prison system in America, in particular, has just really gone downhill from what we think it is, and how racial profiling is really playing a really big role in this in the system of America, and how it's really degrading, and how even racial profiling, even if we don't want to believe that we still racially profile, it still is very real and in our society today. What are you thinking about this, Matt?
I'm thinking that both of these documentaries talk a lot about how we turn to prison as just like a means to an end. Like, just if someone does anything bad, you throw them in prison. Instead of, there's a lot of different ways that you could go about dealing with. I mean, even like a 14-year-old kid who got tried as an adult. I feel like there's a lot of other ways that they could have gone with that kid.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we've watched several documentaries. We watched one about our beneficiary, which is Shakespeare Behind Bars, of course. We watched that one, which is also located in Louisville, Kentucky. And I feel like it's really unfair how they take these young kids and they put them in prison, and they, like some of them who do really bad things, they have life in prison. They will never get out without a chance of parole. And then, like, they'll be 14, 18 years old without a chance of ever leaving prison. Like, they will die there, and that's just I really feel like that's just unfair. Like, I know that they did really bad things, but sometimes I feel like that shouldn't be the case, like our go-to every time with
after watching some of these watching this TED Talk in the Frontline documentary, just comparing it to the documentary we watched on our sponsor, which was Shakespeare Behind Bars, I thought that those guys that were actually in the play, I thought before I knew what some of them did, I felt like I could have actually carried on a conversation. Like, these are intelligent people, but they did that one thing and it's just sent them away for the rest of their life. And I like how, like, they're talking about how in this TED Talk and Frontline documentary, how we need different ways to get people to higher education or learn more in prisons, not just throw them in there and when they come out. Like in the Frontline documentary, they talk about how when they get right out, they go right back in because they just don't know anything different than just going back to jail.
Yeah, really. It's really unfair. Like, especially in the Frontline documentary where they track mainly just 5 people. Like, as soon as they got out of prison, like, they just went right back in. Like, they just don't have a cycle. They don't have a good means of rehabilitation for these prisoners. Really, it's just the system of rehabilitation has just really gone down.
That's what I was looking for.
And especially for jobs, like these guys, they really want to find jobs, but as soon as the job board, they see that they have a prison record, like they're not applicable for the job anymore. No matter how smart they are, as soon as they're in prison, like, it's insanely hard for them to get a decent job, for them to just live. It's really just I don't think it's fair at all for these guys to where we live in a society to where you go to prison, you come out, and you're supposed to be better, but we just treat these people as just garbage, like they shouldn't even be here.
We look down to most of them.
Yeah.
Even though some of these people are probably better people on the inside than us because of what they've gone through in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Bryan Stevenson, he said it really well. Like, it's not really that fair that we are trying these little kids. Like, he tried, like as Matt said, like they were trying a 14-year-old kid, and they tried him as an adult, and it's insane to me that we can just do that. Like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like true. Like, even for what he did, like, they didn't really specify about what he did, but I don't know what a 14-year-old could possibly do that we didn't know, like, without, like mass genocide that could have him tried 4 years older than he actually is, and to possibly be in jail with grown men that can actually really hurt him and are actually dangerous. to put this 14-year-old kid with those people and just have a bad influence for a long time. I don't think that's a really good idea for our system.
So to really wrap things up here, the main point that I'm seeing from these two documentaries is we just need, one, a better means of rehabilitation in these actual prisons, which I don't know much about if we have any, but from these two documentaries, it seems like there's none in most. And two, we need jail to not be a means to an end. We need other ways to try to get people to be free of this life of crime.
Yeah, going off what Matt said, like especially I think there was a line in the Frontline documentary with one of the wardens. He was talking. He was like, "We're putting people in jail that we are that we're just afraid of, but no, we're putting people in jail that are what was it? Do you remember?
He said we're putting people in jail that aren't a harm to us, but a harm to themselves, instead of putting people that are actually a harm to.
Yeah, putting people in jail that are actually harmful. Like we're just putting people in jail because we're mad. That's what he said. He said we're putting people in jail that we're mad at, and we're not putting people in jail that belong in jail, that are harmful, and which those people, I feel like those people do belong in jail, and that's why we still have a good system. But we have one of the #1 incarceration rates in the world, and which is insane because, you know, when people think of America, we think of freedom, and we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. So we are the least free, even though we consider ourselves the most free. So I feel like there needs to be a change in how we either see ourselves or how we approach our prison systems before we can say that we are truly free. But besides that, I think there's not much about that. We'll keep you posted. Thank you for listening to the documentary.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will talk to you later. Okay, bye.